Hello, I was excited about the last video about being about signs, and you just can't get that in 5 or 6 minutes. So I decided to do another one, less than a week. And a friend of mine posted in the comments a picture of an orb on her dad. So I wanted to discuss orbs today. Very, very cool. Yes, that is another sign that our loved ones can send us. I'll explain that in just a little bit. I also wanted to talk about the numbers again. I was watching John Edward, and he was talking about numbers with his mother, and it made me laugh because she had her certain numbers. And after she passed, and John didn't like it. He didn't like the numbers thing, wasn't his thing. And then she passed, and she still harassed him about the numbers, which I thought was funny. AF. So Martin with him, his was 216. It was 216 Lackey Road, because that's where he was born, and that was his godmother's place. And anytime he saw 216, he knew it was a message from his godmother. And so when my kids were looking for a place here, and I was getting on Martin's case about it, I'm like, come on, Martin, we got to find my place. It's been 5 months, you know. They can't keep staying with me and all this kind of stuff. And then he yelled at me. I heard him like, do you want us on it or not? Get out of the way. Quit harassing us. We got it under control. He meant his mother, his father, all of us, that, all of the people on the other side. So where did the kids get their place? What's their house number? 216. He made sure that he put his stamp on it and let me know, told you I was on it. So yeah, numbers, even though John Edward doesn't like the numbers thing, I personally do. Now the orbs, it's interesting because when Martin was here, he was explaining, because orbs can be our family ones, family members that are people on the other side, but they can also be fairies. But Martin had found out, what he realized, what those orbs are portals. And he was always astral traveling everywhere all the time. And he said, oh my God, he goes, I was in this room and there was these guys, all these men, there was like a council, and they were in robes. And he said, I realized if anybody were to take a picture, I would have appeared as an orb, because he was like up in the corner looking in. So that's a new way to look at orbs. They're portals on other dimensions looking in here, and you can catch them on cameras. So I thought that was pretty cool. The other thing I wanted to say is, share your stories if you have them. Somebody IM'd me and she shared about with her pets, and she goes, people think I'm crazy. I don't think you're crazy. I know it's true. So you can either post in the comments, or if you want to instant message me about your signs that you get from your loved ones on the other side. I would love to hear them. I love it. It just makes me happy. And, if you want validation, because I have had people send me pictures through the years and going, what do you think that is? I said, yes. If someone just passed and you have an orb, yes, that's them checking in on you. So yeah, signs are lots of fun. And when you start looking for them, it's fantastic. Now, when Andrew passed, Martin didn't want just a white feather. He wanted black feathers. So Martin was finding black feathers. There was one time he says, I want dragonflies, because dragonflies are very important in the elemental kingdom. I say they're like the airlines. And we went to go leave, and our whole yard was filled with dragonflies hovering up above the grass. And so when Martin passed, I thought, I want black and white feathers. I thought, give me more of a challenge. Damn it, don't you know I was finding black and white feathers? So make it a game. Have fun with it. It's building that bridge too. And it kind of makes life here less mundane and more magical. And that's going to be another video I make about seeing the magic in life. I'll be doing that soon. So have fun today. Look for your signs. And as my son says, live your life with no regrets and die laughing.